Welcome and thanks for joining us today. My name is Talia Maxey and I am a special assistant here at ACE.
And I'm Jesus Ventura, and I am a program manager for the Student Resource Center. The ACE Student of the Year Award goes to two learners who embody the best attributes of thousands of adult learners. Through this award, ACE recognizes adult learners who have benefited from the use of ACE's military and workforce credit recommendations to earn college degrees or advance a career.
I want you all to take a second to ponder on what attributes float through your mind when you visualize a student. What is an exemplary adult learner? The answer to that question is simple. There is no prototype of a model learner. Students come from various backgrounds and paths. Some enroll in college straight from high school, while others are deep into their careers. Some are incarcerated, others are parenting and raising children. Regardless of the background, there is one thing that these individuals have in common: the steadfast will and drive to learn another day, regardless of circumstance. This is what the ACE Student of the Year Award is all about. Recognizing how two different individuals can achieve their goals through very different paths. We are now joined by two undeniable exemplary learners: Edwin Duarte, our military recipient, and St. Nicholas Burrus, our corporate recipient.
Let's explore a bit more on how people with the same goal in mind can have two completely different journeys to achieve that path. Edwin, you wrote an inspiring application essay with personal reflections on your higher education journey. Can you share a little bit about the path that you took? Why did you decide to pursue your degree?
Yes, thank you. Since I was a sophomore in high school, I always wanted to teach U.S. history. While I was in the Army, I was an air assault instructor where I would teach soldiers how to rappel from Black Hawk helicopters. And that position reinforced my dream of becoming a teacher once I was done with my military service.
Excellent. And Nick, can you share with us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, so getting a degree has always been a dream of mine. I originally wanted to study philosophy and political science growing up, but opportunity never fulfilled itself. I ended up having a lot of free time after my heart transplant, and I decided to spend the downtime learning at home during the pandemic and recovering from a major life surgery. The opportunity was just perfect.
Awesome. So moving forward on that note, Nick, how did you identify and choose your program and institution?
I decided to enroll at the University of Maine at Presque Isle for a Bachelor's of Arts in Business Administration, Management, and Leadership concentration. After I learned that they were ACE friendly on degree form, I decided on this degree path because of my employer, Stria, out here in California. Shortly after I started Stria, I was quickly recognized by the management of the company and promoted to management and leadership role. Despite my loss of hearing, they treated me as an equal and always been there every step of the journey I took through speech therapy, through hospitalizations, and everything. They were family to me. I became family with them. When I decided to go back to school and get a degree, I immediately thought about my future with Stria and what degree will be best utilized there, which is how I landed on management and leadership, because that is what makes me happiest at this time.
So Edwin, same question for you. What was your motivation for enrolling in your university and how did you choose your program?
I chose Norco College because I had seen that it had received several awards for Best for Vets and the Military Friendly School Award. I chose history and political science because to fully appreciate this country, I think students should know how the country was founded and how the government operates.
Great. So we touched upon, how using the ACE credit recommendations brings these great benefits to students, right? You receive college credit for your professional education, training, including military experiences. So you save time, you save money, and you take advantage of the benefits. It also brings quality to new employment opportunities as well. And it simplifies and speeds up the process to completing that college degree. So with that in mind, Nick, I'll start with you. Tell us, what ACE credit recommendations did you use, and how did those credit recommendations affect your decision-making and progress through your program?
So I took the majority of my credits before University of Maine at Presque Isle at Sophia.org. At Sophia.org, I managed to accrue about 93 total credits in my first evaluation with UMPI, and about 3 from Alex. Most of them were electives, but a huge amount went towards the general education. About 90% of my general education requirements were covered by Sophia. I also took a pre-calculus course from Alex, which I learned a lot about advanced mathematics from. The transfer process was amazingly smooth, especially through the New York lane system. The University of Maine at Presque Isle had absolutely no problems accepting the alternate credit and were very generous with their acceptance of them. Because of A's, I'll finish my bachelor's for a total cost of about $2,800.
Great. And Edwin, same question to you. Tell us how you use your ACE credit recommendations and how do they affect the decision making and progress through your program?
It recommended I did a degree in business, which it would have given me credits for my military leadership courses and recruiting training. And I do work for US Bank, so that degree would have been great, and it would have given me over 24 credits at the University of Texas El Paso, where I currently attend school now as a junior. But at the time, I decided to major in history, and ACE gave me 16 credits towards my general education and also credits toward military science, which helped me save time and money towards my education.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So you both wrote very, very great nomination essays. So I want to do a deeper dive into your stories. So I'll start with you, Edwin. How did you manage to handle your course load on top of all of your other personal and professional responsibilities? So can you just tell us a bit more about the intersection of your esteemed military background and how that attributed to your educational journey?
I'm a first generation college student, as well as first generation military and also first generation American, coming from a Mexican mother and a father from El Salvador. I spent almost 12 years in the Army. I went straight after high school. So when I first enlisted, I was kind of a brat. I didn't really know what I was doing. I would question everything, which is obviously a horrible way of doing stuff in the US Army. But towards the end of my career, I had been a sergeant for 10 years at that point. So the first 2 years were rough, but after that, I figured out, how to be a soldier. And I took the values that I learned in the Army and applied it to my education once I got out. I just prioritized, I set time aside for my assignments. I learned to juggle my work, my family, and the school load. And once the pandemic hit, it actually made life easier because everything then went to the computer. So I could work from home and also focus on my education at home. When I first enrolled at Norco College at the admissions office, they let me know that there was a veterans club that would help me adjust to college life. I instantly clicked with the VA certifying official, Mr. Eric Betancourt, where we made our education plan together, and he gave me the lay of the land on campus. With the help of the other veterans, they let me know which professors they had enjoyed and what other clubs they had enjoyed as well. Getting involved with the clubs on campus really helped connected me and introduced me to some of the school's staff. Eventually, I would become the president of the club, and the dean of admissions, Mr. Mark, noticed my work ethic and my GPA, and he would later offer me a staff position to help with their MAP program, which is similar to the ACE program, and wanted to award credits for prior learning. And I would kind of be like a military liaison and help them translate what some of the training could be used for in the MAP program. And during that time, I was able to receive my associate's degree for transfer in history and political science, as well as earning an associate's in science of social and behavioral studies with distinction in all three associate's degrees.
So Nick, you mentioned in your essay that you were a walking miracle since birth. Your story is just very unique and powerful, given that you persevered through so many obstacles. So can you just tell us a bit more about your journey, and were there any disruptions to your academic plan?
Yeah, so when I was born, I was always very weak and stopped breathing. And I was only a couple days old and a couple weeks old. When I was 4, I contracted a very rare genetic disease called Kawasaki syndrome that works into heart damage because it was misdiagnosed. Because at the time, it was believed to only occur in Asian populations. I've always been hard of hearing and always had difficulty speaking and took 16 years of speech therapy. I've always had trouble listening until later in life I accessed additional hearing aids and modern communication software, for example, live transcripts and hearing aids that I actively wear all day. They're very small and hardly noticeable now, which is amazing. When I was a kid, it used to be a giant microphone that you would carry around that's bigger than an iPad, basically. I had to wear that around my neck. It was quite an adventure when I was a kid. I've always challenged myself, loved reading, and more. My mind has never been dumb. It was my body that failed me. My heart continued to get worse and worse as I got older. I lived with a heart with ejection fraction of less than 30 my entire life and less than 20 for the last 5 years. A normal heart should be around 60 plus, but heart failure is considered around 40. I lived my whole life pretty much 30 to 20 or less. Being so sick, I never really got to truly work or go to school after graduating high school. I missed over half the days in high school before being so sick. I decided to go to work even though I was approved for lifetime disability because being less than 30% ejection fraction is considered a lifetime disability in the United States. And I didn't want to be stuck at home. In January last year, Cedar Sinai Medical Center out in Beverly Hills, California, I got an unforgettable gift of life from an anonymous donor who I still have no idea who he is, just that he's 29 years old and male, a very strong, new, healthy heart. It's been a very long road to recovery and a lifetime of learning to live with a donor heart. I'm forever grateful for this. Now my heart can't hold me back anymore. It's a strong heart. An audiologist at Cedar Sinai Towers Audiology also was able to get me additional hearing aids that allow me to hear better than I was ever able to before. I'm now able to move forward, and especially I'm grateful to my employer for the entire 9 months I was off recovering from a heart transplant. They paid for my PPO Platinum insurance the entire time.
Nick, your story is so remarkable and inspiring. Now that you have this platform as a student of the year, how will you use this platform to inspire other learners or help spur changes that will remove obstacles that you faced?
When I first started with this journey, many schools were not very deaf friendly that was using ACE. But after speaking with several of the ACE institutions in the school, they have adjusted their programs to be friendly for hard of hearing and deaf, which will allow the next person to come along to be able to fully achieve their school's goals without having any obstacles. I will be graduating in May with a degree from a state university because the ACE allowed me to sprint forward and do this entire degree in 7 months for about a fifth of the total average cost for an American. The University of Maine at Presque Isle invited me and gave me a spot in their master's degree program, which I never dreamed was possible. One thing I learned that is always important to never stop learning. My next big goal is getting a Six Sigma built, which is major in the business world.
Awesome. And Edwin, if you could also share with us, how you plan to use this platform to not just help yourself, but also help learners and others, who also face similar obstacles that you faced through your journey.
I would hope that not only military members who have received ACE recommendations go to school, but also paramedics, police officers, and anyone who can benefit from ACE. I know from the military side of things, a lot of veterans had no problem volunteering for airborne school, jumping out of helicopters, or deploying to Iraq or Afghanistan. But the thought of going back to school as an older student was terrifying. By ACE giving us credit for some classes, it gave us time to adjust and be successful in college. Once I'm done with my bachelor's, I will have finished my educational goals in 3 years. And a big part of that is thanks to ACE.
Awesome. The real thank you should go to you both. You both are so inspirational, and I thank you both for joining us today to speak with us. You are an inspiration to not only other students who find themselves on a post-traditional path, but also to the institutional leaders, the administrators, and my ACE colleagues who serve learners like yourselves.
And in my final thought, I'd like to quote John Dewey. John Dewey said, "Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself." As we conclude our conversation, I thank each of you for your tenacity and inspiration in education and in life.